Okay, so we made some good progress last time, so let's see if we can keep the momentum going. Assuming momentum is the right word to use, especially considering how much the gameplay generally flows around here. Huh. I think the only major boss left is going to be Ridley himself, then we can move on to Mother Brain. Actually kind of amazing just how long I'd hovered near getting close to the endgame content. Well, there goes the idea of dropping down to the floor below through the quicksand, so guess I'm gonna need a new plan. Apparently we can't space jump our way out of here, and the grapple is just out of range at the moment. Entirely my fault again, I know. Why am I even bothering with the grapple swing when we can practically fly at this point? Well, I suppose it's reasonable that I retreated for the energy refill station that we know about nearby. Not that the map in this game tells us if the dot on the damn thing is an energy refill station or an upgrade we could grab there. And it's not like the map changes that little dot if we grabbed said upgrade or not. And that only became a thing with the series in later installments, really, so I can't really complain too much, because the whole map in the Metroid thing was new for this installment. Again, this is the game that they based everything that came later on. The framework that helped this series go from an interesting, if underdeveloped idea to something fun enough that it helped form an entire genre of gaming, and probably inspired other franchises within Nintendo through sheer osmosis. It's not like I can tell with any certainty how much of an impact on later games outside the Metroid franchise that Super Metroid had. It's not like I was a game designer and heard various interesting things in meetings after Super Metroid turned out to be such a major classic. Hell, I wasn't even old enough to be in first grade when this game was first released. And as I said before, I didn't get to play this for the first time until long after the Super Nintendo stopped production. I just know that when I play this game, it's fun, and I can think of how many different games that came even decades later seem to have some aspects that this game brought to the table. Okay, no clue what that's supposed to be, but it's certainly blocking this hallway. So there's two of them, and as far as I can tell, there's no way around them and no way to damage them. Well, at least their only method of attack is their mouths. We can work around that. And of course I managed to make things a little harder for myself. Yeah, there was absolutely no need for me to be cornered like this. Definitely more trouble getting out of that than strictly needed. Well, it's not like we spent all that many missiles before finding this. For some reason, I was hoping the end of the hallway would have the screw attack for us. Hell, I've been hoping for the screw attack for so long in this game that it's arguably a running gag. Though it's probably more funny that despite the fact that this is the 4th Metroid MLBing, I didn't remember the space jump was a thing. I just remembered in the earlier games that when you had the screw attack, you could also jump in midair to essentially fly. Well, this is certainly a big chamber. As much as I hope that means that there's something in here for us, I somehow doubt that's actually going to be the case after all. It's got no dots on the minimap and it's surrounded by areas we've already explored. Still, it's large enough that part of me feels it has to be important somehow. Of course, another part of me feels this is kind of a waste of time and I should just try to remember where the hell Ridley's chamber is from here. Still, part of the fun of this kind of game is exploring, and after I had to use a walkthrough to find out how to move forward at one point, and at another needed to check how to kill a boss, I kind of want to convince myself I can still figure out some things on my own around here. Actually kind of impressed that little guy timed that shot just right. That one doesn't get any credit. We just stupidly fell on top of him. Really hoping we don't manage to fall on top of enemies when we get to Metroid Fusion. I guess it depends how much our visibility improves, since, again, this game seems to have zoomed things in a lot more than the other Metroids we've done. As a side note, does anyone else find it a little funny that the moment that a door becomes available to unlock, we don't want to go through it anymore? Maybe that means that the door heading further upward is open now too, but it could possibly still be locked just to spite us. Okay, I've got no excuse for bumping into that one. Good. The door's unlocked now. Probably shouldn't have bothered with the wall jump since we can now essentially fly. I guess it's taken me longer than I expected to fully digest the fact that we can now. After all, we spent approximately 6 hours without that trick in this game, and technically speaking, there aren't too many more things we absolutely need to do in the game now. I guess part of me wishes there was some sense that things are winding down for us. But it's not like this is one of the usual narrative-based games that I typically do, where the story can be paced out in various ways and the characters interact with one another. Hell, Samus has had nobody to interact with in this entire game, or any of the other games we've gone through in this series. Sure, I'm looking forward to working with her in later games, and I've enjoyed working with her with the games we've done already, but it's hard to feel in any way connected to her. The most we've had for characterization for her was in the 3DS game so far, and that was mostly body language. Yet another thing that I have absolutely no clue what it's supposed to be. Again, I'm rather surprised that we've been running into so many different enemy types in this game, especially considering how few recurring enemy variations there were in the other Metroids we've gone through. Speaking of, looks like there's nothing but the pink ones that we don't know how to kill just yet. Wait, So the plasma beam was all we needed to deal with these guys? And excuse me, but I can't help feeling that the plasma beam and the ice beam shouldn't stack like this. Sure, I like being able to take down that type of pirate with ease, but there's just something about the fact that the ice beam was completely ineffective before now. But now we can just turn these guys into statues that are easily finished off by adding a type of beam into the equation that generates intense heat? Ugh, seriously, I have never seen cold plasma. I suppose the type of plasma you put in blood might be stored at cold temperatures, but that kind of plasma is very different from the kind you shoot from a gun, as is generally depicted in various movies and TV shows. Does plasma just work differently in the Metroid series than how I think it does? Or is it just that the game designers didn't really give a damn about little details like that when they decided the sort of beams that could stack together in this game? Anyway, seems we're pretty done with that corner. Time to start heading to a save point to find somewhere else to start exploring. Okay, seems the next nearest save point is an annoying distance away. Still, it's in the same general direction as Brimstar, and if I remember right, that's about the direction we need to go to get to Ridley. And once again, I wish the map in this game showed doors. It's just one of those things that you don't generally think about when looking at a map until suddenly, oh shit, how do I get from point A to point B here? Not even sure what the point is giving us a super missile door up there. It's not like we'd be able to just leap up the tube in one go, or would we just be expected to space jump our way to the top if we wanted to go up from here? And of course, this hallway is still a pain in the ass despite the new upgrades. Apparently, regardless of having the gravity suit, the sand makes us fall a lot faster, which is really throwing off the space jump here. Kinda hoping this is gonna be the last we see of any sand anytime soon. Right, of course if there's a way to that unexplored area above, it's not gonna be from here. Still felt worth checking out, though. And we're back to full health. We'll see just how long that lasts. And it didn't even last a full minute because I'm an impatient bastard. Well, that and I keep relying on a map that purposely seems to give as little detail as possible. Not sure why I thought we'd be able to kill these random blobs. But then I suppose it's not like we could have known that the plasma upgrade would make those otherwise invincible pirates go down in just 2 hits. Well, both left and right will lead us back to Brimstar, so I suppose it doesn't matter which path we take, just that we save before moving on. Right, onward to the path to Ridley. It's certainly been a long time coming for us to have that rematch. Funny how I'm still looking forward to that fight, even though this is the third game we had him as an enemy, and technically speaking, there's absolutely no way he's gonna be a multi-stage fight like he was in the end of the 3DS game. Right, from Brimstar directly to Norfair. I'm pretty sure I asked this back in Zero Mission, but who the hell named the regions we go through on this planet? We don't have too many options where to try exploring here, but I think I have a good idea which of the partially pink rooms is the one with the lava and the dragon-headed door. Wonder why some blocks are willing to be destroyed by our beams and others absolutely need bombs. Even this far into the game, those hoppers are smacking us around a bit. Just what does it take to rip through them with the kind of ease I'm generally used to when we're shooting red recurrent enemies in this series? And we have confirmation that lava no longer affects us. Sure, we already knew that, but it's nice to know I didn't misremember that, considering some of the other things I've misremembered around here. Now, my memory may be a bit on the iffy side as a whole in this game, but I could have sworn we'd already grabbed the missile upgrade under the lava earlier on, and paid for it in pain. This hallway was already a bit ridiculous since the lava keeps rising up absolutely every time we enter it. It stopped being dramatic a long time ago. Now that we don't have to worry about lava at all, it's even harder to take seriously. Right. Just need to find a way down from here and we can try to explore that oddly shaped room below, possibly heading in the direction of the next boss. I know I've said this multiple times over the course of this series, but I've got no clue what's with the terrain that has bubbles. It certainly doesn't denote that we're supposed to be underwater or near it, as far as I can tell. It feels like they were just going for something that would look creepy and out of place for the sake of it. And I will grant that the absolute first time I ever saw that kind of terrain, I was rather unsettled. But considering we've seen this kind of environment so many times in the games we've gone through in this series so far, it's hard for me to be unnerved by it anymore. It just strikes me as odd, and I kinda wish there was an in-universe explanation for it. Of course, I'm gonna have to wait for us to reach the Metroid Prime games for me to get any in-universe explanations for all that much. Scanning for the lore entries is really gonna scratch the storytelling itch. Though I'm pretty sure there's some more actual narrative to be had in Metroid Fusion. And I'd be a little disappointed if there was no lore at all when we get to Metroid Dread. Still, got to finish this game in the first generation of the Pokemon series before we move on to those games, though. I hope nobody's in any particular hurry for me to get on with things. No clue why I decided to freeze that moving platform like that. Partly because I didn't think those things were even possible to freeze. At the very least, I doubt it's possible to destroy them, just like it's impossible to destroy the snakehead things coming out of the wall. Okay, so the lava doesn't hurt us, but for some reason, rocks being thrown around under the lava do? I know, this probably isn't the sort of game where you're supposed to make sense of things. It doesn't change the fact that the game feels like it really enjoys leaving me confused about several things. We've already explored what's on the other side of that gate, so not much point in going through there again. Could have sworn there was some false lava on the way down, though. If only I could rely on my memory around here. I suppose those hits in the wall look a bit more ominous under the lava. Okay, why the hell am I bothering trying to jump onto those heads when they're frozen when we have the space jump? Definitely wasting time and health for no good reason here, and considering we're probably pretty close to Ridley himself, that seems very stupid. Okay, so those heads are making it annoying to space jump up to the top because they can hit us in midair with all too much ease. And when they hit us, we can't do another space jump until we hit the ground to do another spinning jump to get the space jump working again. We already know there's only one way over there, and it's under the lava with the space jump. But I'm just getting mangled trying, even though we should have all the tools we need to get this done. Why? What am I missing? Is it simply a matter of timing and platforming skill? Two things that I've never been especially good at in any game? Good God, I'm pulling out right now. At least for now. Maybe in the next recording session I'll have some better luck. I wouldn't put money on that, though. Good God, why did I think those spikes below the lava wouldn't be a problem if rocks getting thrown at us can be? Well, at least we can replenish energy here, that's a relief. Wish I could say that was my intention when going this direction, but I was thinking more about saving. Not sure how the break is going to help, considering the trouble we had trying to get to the other end of that lava room. It's not exactly the kind of trouble I can just brute force my way through. Not that there have been all that many problems of that nature in this game for me. It's funny, this game has made Samus feel about at her most durable compared to the other Metroids we've gone through, but this game is still finding ways to make me feel kinda inadequate. They can't make the walking tank have too much trouble in a fight, so make it harder for said tank to get from point to point. Let's see what's new in here. Powerbomb expansion. Yet another thing that's starting to feel a bit superfluous, really. Of course, it'd be helpful if the power bombs felt like they were actually useful in combat instead of just opening doors. The missiles and super missiles are at least good against bosses. I just generally default to the charge beam when it's an enemy with only a limited window of attack. And I do appreciate that the charge beam feels more useful in this game than the others we've gone through.